Hey everybody, did you know playing Dead Cells with a controller is strongly advised? We might as well just start again here because I'm pretty sure that the current game had basically nothing going on anyway. I probably had just spawned in the prison, but now I'm ready to go here. Last couple of episodes have gone very, very well. No huge wins, but at the same time, big plays that have, led me to believe that there is a chance that we might be able to get redemption in the Dead Cells series after being bad. I think the thing is, I have a reputation. Dude, we have 36,000 points. Absolute coins, sorry. I have a reputation for being bad at video games, but I'm not actually bad at hitting the inputs on the controller most of the time. I'm not like, not to be ageist or anything, but I'm not like a 70-year-old man who's like, where's the A button? I've got probably tens of thousands of hours of mechanically playing video games in my life. What I'm bad at is the mental strategy and like the know-how and the elbow grease to lead us to a new land. What I mean by that is, it is fairly obvious, I'm assuming, but I never really thought that the right plan would be to explore everything. It turns out you got to explore everything, because if I wasn't being held accountable for an audience, straight up, like if I was playing this on my own and was not doing it for videos, I never would have come to that conclusion. Someone would have been like, why don't you play it like this? And I would have been like, this idiot thinks he knows more than me. When actually he does. It's one of the good things about YouTube is, you are exposed to criticism, but at the same time that criticism usually, or at least sometimes, will force you to improve, as long as you don't completely shut down. Anyway. So I think we've now doomed ourselves to having a bad episode of Dead Cells because I've talked about it as if it's a foregone conclusion that we're going to crush it, but I don't know, we've been playing really well lately. The quick bow, I think, is... It's a weird choice. I think the quick bow is like a mid-tier bow. Maybe even slightly above mid-tier, but I prefer the infantry bow. Bow with infinite arrows, depending on what kind of sweet stuff you can get along with it, can be nice as well. I'm gonna stick with Frost Blast for now because I actually quite like... Oh, that was pretty bad, but I quite like the new Frost Blast, if I'm being honest. At least for taking out a single target, it's actually pretty solid. Now, instead of taking 45 seconds to actually launch the beam, it launches it in like less than a second, which is nice. Obviously, it wasn't literally 45 seconds before. That's satirical, but you get the idea. So we definitely do not want a pendant. Biter Swarm that does more damage to poison enemies. Phaser that lights enemies on fire. I don't know. It's not that I don't want to spend the money. It's just that I'm actually content with our existing setup here, if I'm being honest with you. We do have Knife Swarm, which seems to poison our enemies. So we might be able to get a mild synergy there. We've had a couple of runs recently, or at least we've had one run recently in particular, where we went with like a full-on burning strategy, extra damage against enemies that are on fire, and it worked out really nicely. Actually, didn't win, but that's largely because I still have like a lot of room to grow. I think when it comes to figuring out how the heck I'm going to beat the Watcher, to be honest with you. I really don't know which direction that endeavor is going to take. But we're gonna shoot for the moon. And even if we miss, we'll land amongst the stars. So where should we go? I'm starting to think that the direction we go, or the path we go, should almost be more based on how I feel about how the run is going. And right now I think we have a slightly above average run. I tend to think my best performance honestly comes from the sewer. And we've got some okay... We gotta explore a little bit more, but we have some okay sewer action. Like the meat grinder's nice for the sewer because you got a lot of enemies that go along the ground, not too many enemies that fly. We don't have an amazing setup for taking out the flying enemies that explode, but it's not like a Biter Swarm's gonna do much to stop that. And we don't really want to pay for a force shield, so I think we're just... Yeah, we're done. Let's go Toxic Sewers. I have become a little bit more, I don't know, I've been pulled apart from the middle, I think. I've become a little bit more equipment agnostic, meaning like, I'm not super concerned, in particular about skills. I'm like, any skill can work. but I've also become a lot more preferential about the primary and secondary that I have, I think. Like, there are some that I find... like, in general, I hate to say it because I know that they recently got buffed, but I don't understand shields, still to this day. I'm not saying that I'm in the right about that. I just... Why only take something that helps you when you get hit? I know that the shield helps you, it protects you from getting hit as well, but I don't know. I still feel like it's not sensible to play like sword and board style in Dead Cells. Although I have had people tweet me that they played that style and liked it. It just seems like aggro is so much incentivized rather than playing it slow. So I think the damage booster, it does ignite the ground, which is tempting. Not necessarily that useful, but I think if we can get a ranged weapon, the way I like damage booster, or at least the theory I want to check now, is if we can get a ranged weapon, like bow with infinite arrows, and then match that with a damage booster so we can actually like do ridiculous amounts of damage from afar. That's like my dream come true right there, I think. So we gotta definitely go back for that. We need skills and we need HP. That's, you know, the two things that I'm most eager to pick up here are scrolls that can benefit us in either of those directions. So skills are good. Knife Storm starts with, unfortunately, a fairly high cooldown. I do think that I still lean towards... I know, I like how, by the way, you know, 3 episodes ago, I was in a very silly mood in Dead Cells, and now it's like, oh, well, now that I've gotten some sea legs underneath me, it's, I should have just gone back to the chicken, but... Oh, well, analytically, this, and this. Okay, so you gotta get, like, highly dusted. Dude, I may die here, to be honest with you. I only say that because he fires so quickly. I mean, we never should have gotten into that much trouble over the course of this, and I'll own up to that 100%. But, that's probably the hardest elite enemy for me, I think, because of the fact that the attack that he does is so, like, slow. Or, sorry, so fast relative to the ones that he normally does. So, we obviously need 1 level of HP. That was highlighted there. But anyway, yeah, I'm taking the luxury of taking a more analytical approach to the game a little bit, because now I'm actually, like, doing okay. But I know that when people watch the NL videos, you know, my reputation precedes me, they want me to be a little bit more entertaining than simply mechanically sound at the game. It's the kind of unique part about, ooh. I'm tempted but scared. Now, Fire Grenade I do love here, and we got more than enough money. When I hear that old song they used to play. And we got a synergy here with the meat grinder as well. Yeah, I think we can afford to do it. It's something that's unique about being, like, in the space that I'm in on YouTube. Yeah, this seems like it could be great. Quick bow for... Oh, jeez. Is, you know, if you're, like, an entertainer, let's say you're, like, a comedian, you don't have to also be, like, good at something else. Now, the flip side of that is that you have to tell jokes, which is way harder than playing video games most of the time, I think. It's just a unique aspect of the YouTube sphere that, you know, people are like, I watch NL because he's entertaining and I want him to be funny. But also, he was really bad in this episode and I sort of hated it. So I accept that as my lot in life. It's not like it's a particularly difficult curse to circumvent or anything like that. It's just unique. So you gotta try to strike a balance. Also, you know, not always easy to be, you know, naturally entertaining just off the cuff, but I like to give it a try. So I got very lucky that the curse lifted there. I don't know if you can actually afford to get poisoned. I'm pretty sure you die if you get poisoned. And we've got our first little, like, pleasing synergy here, in my opinion, at least. This like, fire grenade meat grinder synergy is working out completely. I just want to check on the specifics of the quick bow. Swarm of biters crawls from your victims. Oh, yeah, okay, so that's, like, the best of all worlds here. So, if we put an arrow in him and then he dies, we do get biters. We get 1 biter. Is it 1 biter per arrow? That's not really a swarm, but... Or maybe they just died because they touched something else in the meantime as well? I'm not sure. So we're looking for... We can build other synergies if we get really, really good stuff. But I think for now, really, like... You gotta remember... Plus 100% damage, you might just look at that and see a number. You know, oh, you know, it's a mild synergy. But actually, that's double damage. I mean, it's obvious that when you take a second to think about it, you can figure that out. But I really did not. So, you know, double damage essentially means that if you only use these in conjunction with each other, it's actually twice as good as it originally looks. So, I think we really should not be negative about it. We should not dismiss it out of hand, rather. So I basically feel that right now, we're probably best off. I mean, strength is an incredibly important stat. Eventually, we're going to have to hit enemies, but lowering the cooldown because of skills actually seems pretty good as well. And, you know, 11 minutes into this episode, I'm feeling quite good about our situation. Although I still am not... Oh, what the heck? It was a fake chest. I've never seen it before. It's alright. The flying enemies are pretty bad for us, but because of the, because of our low cooldown time, we're in a good spot. We get cells here. You know, if I could offer one, you know, adjust glasses, a little bit of a nerd thing for, dead cells. I get that the game is called Dead Cells, so this criticism might strike you as being a little raw. But past a certain point, and that point happened fairly quickly, at least from a roguelite standpoint, which is like, you know, 30 hours. Cells are not worth anything. Like, whenever I get cells now, I feel bad about this, but like, Nick opened a chest in the NLSS and was like, whoa, I got 30 cells out of it. And I was kind of like, I mean, I wasn't this dismissive, I hope, but I'm just going from memory here. I was kind of like, who cares? Not because, you know, it's an uninteresting thing to bring up, but because 30 cells is actually, like, not that valuable. I mean, it's... Obviously, you need it. Like, you want to get the cells, because it does give you a benefit, but the benefit is so small that I kind of feel ripped off at this point when the game is like, here's, you know, here's 20 cells or something like that for beating a challenge room, which I've only done once, admittedly, but, you know, it just feels like, why didn't you just give me nothing? Which is maybe not necessarily fair. Sealed 7 minutes ago. Jeez Louise. Yeah, I think we're good to go. We're gonna go back to the sewers again. We'll probably mix it up, like, at points in the future, but... I mean, there's a couple of competing motivations here, right? One of them is that I want to make as much progress as possible because we have been stuck at that second boss for a while, and the second boss seems like a total jerk. The other thing is, I didn't feel like we were strong enough to take the ossuary on. We might have gotten to that point eventually, but I think, you know, to start with, we weren't necessarily crushing it. So we got 50 cells here. Let's level up something that's actually, like, useful. So we do take Electric Whip from time to time. And admittedly, you know, 5% damage is not useless. Especially when you get 5% on top of 105%, and then, you know, 5% on top of 110%. You know, it starts to... You get that compound interest thing going on. That felt pretty cool. But at the same time, it's just not that useful. It doesn't feel as transformative as getting a potentially important piece of equipment. So it kind of becomes like this late game, you know, grind. I feel like I'm playing an MMO, which is basically just me putting on airs because I've never played an MMO before. So it's how I imagine it's like to play an MMO in the late game, without actually knowing what that entails whatsoever. So we're still going for, you know, full-on exploration here. We have made money on this run, despite being a little spendy. We haven't bought too much, but... I think we have hit that, Get out of here, you stinky biters! Just want some of my HP back. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Biters are the worst, man, because they're also, like, low to the ground. Anyway, the run's going actually not just fine. It's going very well, I would suggest. And our skills have leveled up enough to the point that basically as long as I'm able to use both of these skills in conjunction with one another, usually a pod will die, for lack of a better word. You know, we'll use the XCOM terminology. And even if there's biters, we got our own biters that will deal damage to enemies. I also just realized the bow actually shoots 2 arrows. I don't think the second arrow does as much damage, but as far as upgrades go, literally shooting double arrows seems pretty good. It's like we've become the elite archer. And also, perhaps, the elite beat agent. But I think, really, equipment's extremely important. My perception of difficulty in Dead Cells is that it still comes down to your scrolls. And to be fair, how you use them, but another fire grenade, huh? Oh, that was bad. Can you just F off for 2 seconds while I try to deal with this situation, my mushroom man? Okay, so the fire grenade, we probably don't need 2. And this one is strictly better. So I'm going to take it, and we still have the synergy protected there. The broadsword, you know, we have been using the default weapon for a long time, so it also covers the victim in a flammable oil and has much greater damage per second. It's a little harder to land that first hit because it's not as fast, and it doesn't inflict bleed. Everything in the game comes with its trade-offs, but, oh, hello. See, that is... I'm tempted, but I think now's about the time we'd like to dial in a little bit more. Okay, just heal, just heal. You're actually fine. You know, it's not like you're bad if you ever have to heal. You'd be, like, wicked bad if you chose not to heal when you had to. So I'm not going to worry too much about oil. I still don't fully understand it, in case that's not clear. Shots pierce, swarm of biters. I mean, it's pretty good, but I do like the synergy we've got. We could afford to get rid of our... We could afford to get rid of our, meat grinder is my guess. I don't know. Maybe it was worth it for the cells, at least. I mean, we didn't get hit, so I guess it was worth it. We didn't even have to heal in advance, so that's even better, but... There we go. Oil is a little bit strange to me, but really that's just... I should just look up the reasons that oil is valuable, because at the present moment, my expectation is that when you have oil, enemies either burn longer, take more damage from burning, you know, maybe they start with an extra stack of burning. I'm not sure. I just feel a little bit more comfortable going for HP right now. We got a really nice kind of scorched earth thing going on here. Like the jumping puzzle, don't make me laugh. World's greatest platformer right here. That's the thing, I play all these roguelites because if I played platformers, you guys would just stop watching because every episode would be like, oh, he's the best, he's the best. You just get bored with it, you know? Okay, I mean, that wasn't so good. But you know, that's so you gotta make up badness like that so people think you're on their level instead of being a video game god, which I obviously am, unironically, of course. seems like if I had to make like a code of laws for Dead Cells, there's some obvious ones. Whatever you just chose to upgrade from a scroll of power, you will definitely get like a pre-written scroll with that skill next. That's the first rule of Dead Cells. If you need an HP upgrade and you spend on an HP upgrade, you'll find another HP upgrade like 2 seconds later. I don't want your stupid pendants, you weird shovel man. Shovel man likes to shovel in. Is he a landscaper or does he like to garden? Shovel man. Neil Young, anybody? Neil Young is a Canadian-American singer-songwriter. Most famous for his albums After the Gold Rush. So that's going to be the Black Bridge. And I'm ready. Ooh, that strength upgrade was nice. I gotta be honest with you, that was a big milestone for me. Not that last one that I dodged, but the first one that I dodged there from the Scorpion, because I didn't see it coming at all. You know, my brain saw it coming. And then kept me alive. It's like I've entered the subconscious realm of Dead Cells where I can rely on my you know, biological functions to... Usually when people say that, they mean pooping, but I can rely on my brain to just, you know, dodge the shots for me, which is nice because I'm a little busy. What do we got? So that's, we had to pay to see a shield? Is that what was going on? Oh, is that a curse chest? No, it's just a shop we didn't enter. Throwing knives, I do like a lot. I think we can make this happen. No, I don't like that. Extra damage on poison? Nah. So it's really this or the bow. Swarm of Biters is good, but also like cascading bleed seems really nice. Maybe it's not that good. Maybe we're better off with the quick bow. I don't know. I think, you know, if it's that close, why don't we save our money? I mean, I think we haven't explored everything. Hopefully there's like one last little upgrade up here, and I'd be a very happy camper to find one more scroll or something. But I think we're equipped just fine. Oh, that's like nothing, man. Now I think we're like actually... Ooh, good one. Now I think we're actually super done on this floor. We're not going to do the curse chest just before we fight the dude on the blood bridge, so... And then this one's another shop. Okay. How do I feel we're going to do against the unfinished one? Should be easy money, honestly. We got enough HP. Certainly, I mean, we're at like 544. That's pretty good as far as our levels are concerned right now. And we might not be able to upgrade anything quite all... Oh, no, we can get another fire grenade level. Takes 250 for the next step. It's a long trip. Start investing. You know, I do like the broadsword, and it does more damage per second usually, so 5% is a little bit of a larger chunk there, potentially at least. Again, this should be not that difficult whatsoever. But I've been wrong before. I don't know what. Not sure what happened there. They had like a weird audio bug or something. Also, that's a new thing. Is it just a change in the visual effect of his in the visual effect of his creep or something, or is it like a wider range? I'm not sure. Shouldn't be here. But anyway, he's going down. I think that's fairly abundantly clear that this guy's getting pooped on. It is probably better to hit it. Wow! So we gotta heal a little bit, actually. That, like, extra attack there, this seems pretty nasty, honestly. Alright. Wasn't as easy as I thought it would be, but, wasn't that bad. 47,000 gold. I think we have a great setup for going to the fjord as well. Admittedly, I mean, we're rocking this, like, bear trap level 1. Or, sorry, meat grinder level 1. It's actually meat grinder level 2. But, you know, it's not that big of a deal is what I'm trying to get at here. Is this the run? I don't know. That's the thing. You never know until you get a little deeper. The fjord is not usually a great test anymore. It used to be. But for the most part, I mean, I might be dooming myself to die here, but for the most part, you know, I think we got a great setup for dealing with these enemies now. Like, you don't just have to run in and, you know, go buck wild on all of them. For the most part, you can... I mean, the fjord is just like spam... I can't believe you got me. Spam both triggers as far as I'm concerned. That's the strategy that's worked the best for me. Coming down here. And of course, exploring everything. I think it tends to be fairly, like, loot-rich down here. Nah, we can't justify a pendant. Perhaps one of these days. It boggles my mind every time. The enemies are on fire. You're on fire! Your first instinct is to smack me with your freaking zombie claws? I'd be going like, oh my god, I'm on fire. Please help me out. You're going, I gotta end this guy. +1 strength, extra damage on a bleeding target. Poisons the victim, releases a toxic cloud. I mean, you know, it's tempting. We don't have bleed. We chose not to go bleed, so I think I'm gonna just say no on that one for now. And it really is like there's two big things that I think have been helping me a lot in Dead Cells recently. One is exploring everything and like making an effort to explore everything. Going out of your way to explore everything is a huge positive for your chances of survival. The other one is don't be afraid to stick with what you got, even if the Roman numerals are lower. You know, be selective. Be selective. Covers the victim in flammable oil, but I don't think it's what we want. Especially because if enemies are on fire, the flashbang... Actually, I mean, again, I'm not one of the developers, so, you know, they got data that I couldn't possibly be privy to. But I sort of feel like the flashbang needs a buff that, like, prevents... I'm just gonna heal, even though it's probably inefficient right now. Needs a buff in the sense that, like, it becomes basically just a really bad grenade if it also inflicts a status effect. It needs to be, like, resilient to enemies coming out of the stun during a status effect or something like that for me to consider using it. But again, I'm not, I'm just going on my own 2 cents here. Bear Trap poisons the enemies, but not particularly invested in that as a game plan right now. Wow. They aggro the biters, which is actually an unintended positive side effect, honestly, for me. Because if the biters are getting aggroed, that means I'm not getting aggroed. See you later, buddy. Gotta be worried about that guy when we come out, so, like, definitely try not to leave this room with, like, 10% of your HP. Yeah, fire grenade, so good at dealing with those aerial enemies as well. It's got a really nice, like, spread on it. You know, an area of effect, if you will. And so far, I think, you know, the prophecy's coming true. The fjord has been pretty simple. Very much the improper way to handle that. So there's usually no teleporters on the way up, or on the upper path rather, so I'm a little bit bummed out of the dearth of loot we've seen so far, but just got to explore everything down here. Oh! Well, easy money. Alright. Man, the cannonball guys used to be like the worst enemies on planet Earth. We are still getting like a little framey up here, but honestly at this point, my intention is to, or my guess is that I would blame my PC instead of blaming the game at this point. I mean, it does correlate with the amount of stuff going on the screen. There's no doubt about that. But the new PC is like actually literally en route, so en route. Should be sorted before it becomes too much of a problem. So we're down to 1 heal. You know, we've been in this situation before. It seems like the smart thing to do is, you know, bounce when you're ready to bounce. Like, if you've only got 1 heal left, that might be a good situation for you to start moving on. Enemies burn when they die, and it does do more damage, but it doesn't do that much damage. Grenade does extra damage on a bleeding target. Sorry, on a burning target. I actually think that's what we replaced the meat grinder with. So we have something that is going to be way faster to charge, and it's going to do way more damage at one go, but it's going to have less spread. But I mean, I know we're in danger of just taking the same items over and over, but in this situation, I sort of feel like how can you blame me? Like, the fire grenade combo has been extremely good. And the grenade, you know, recharging, oh, that's infantry bow. Recharging so quickly is a huge bonus as well. It's got no biters, but the crit is, the guaranteed crit is really nice. I think we're gonna go with it. Generally speaking, I'm a believer in the idea that the more crits you can force an enemy to take, the better off you're gonna be. Although, to be honest with you, that didn't really work out all that well. I know we got the Impaler up there, but did that in the opposite order. It seems like there's almost no reason for us to use our, it restores enough HP that we should wait, I think. That was really bad. I sort of feel like we shouldn't be using our bow in general in this situation. Maybe if we get a damage booster, it'll be a little different, but I don't think it's necessary. So we still got 1 heal left, and we've finished the entire bottom floor. I think it was just, well, I mean, we can teleport back, but it was this one that led to the upper path. I'm still, like, I wouldn't say mind-boggled, but I'm a little surprised that we've got no scrolls as of the present moment. One of our, I thought one of our skills was giving us an HP up as well, but maybe I've actually just taken an HP up. There, that was a very dangerous situation. This is a very dangerous situation, to be honest with you. So he's dead, but I'm very scared. Oh my lord. Okay, heal up. We got a pendant out of it, sadly, but we did take him out. Alright, we're at full HP with no heals. That was a nasty situation. Damage from projectiles reduced is certainly not something I'm mad about. But I am looking to get out of this floor as soon as possible now. We do have some cells back there we should get. This one looks like it'll probably be the exit, so I think it's a sensible time for us to leave here. It worked, it worked. Oh, we got another item as well. It's not going to be a scroll, presumably, but I don't know. I don't mind the Nutcracker. Extra damage on a stunned target, and it stuns enemies that are closer to full HP. So it would almost always, at least in the first attack, get that bonus. But I don't think it's what we want. Okay, 30% extra damage on a bleeding target. What is bleeding enemies that we have right now? Nothing, right? Of course, you get the guaranteed crit. I don't necessarily believe that this is the right call, though. I actually think that, you know, the broadsword, hello, is doing some great work for us. And then I don't need to mess with the formula right now. There's a scroll, thankfully. Obviously, it's not, like, the most efficient way to take out an enemy. The guaranteed crits are nice, but I don't know. I think I'm, like, as big of a fan of just having some more stable base damage. So I'm going to go skills on this one, because we are, if being honest, we're using our skills predominantly to get the job done. I think that's relatively clear in the moment here. Okay, we're in the graveyard. 36 minutes in and feeling pretty good about ourselves. Let me Alt-Tab here and get these freaking Skype messages taken care of. There you go. On Roundtable today, do you want to do Country Grammar by Nelly as Nick's Weird Game? I think that's nearly going to be impossible. First off, I don't even know Country Grammar that well, but it is going down, down, baby. Low Street in my Range Rover. Boom, boom, baby. Ready to let it go. Got another Nick's Weird Game. Pass it to me now. Came out on the PS2. IGN said it sucked. Okay, so, you know, like, this is why you gotta run it back. Run it back. We're on the graveyard. That's just a terrible amount of damage to take to start with. But we learned something. In taking 200 damage there, we learned something. I do enjoy the fact that we've got, actually quite a lot of, like, crowd control. The enemies that were not in the room took no damage from that grenade. I'm a little surprised, but just look for like a kebab. You'll heal yourself. You'll be fine. Could still use a secondary. Okay, oil grenade is like, I mean, it does give us health. It's kind of interesting, but maybe good one. Maybe the oil grenade, or maybe the presence of oil, spreads the ability of fire to burn, like, across a larger geographic area. I quite like the grenade, even though it seems like the most boring of all possible upgrades. It's super spammable, and I think out of all the skills, it does the most, damage in one go. You know, not a ton of damage out of this guy, but still, to get the poison cloud off early is nice. So our skills are going to be at a fairly ridiculous level here moving on. Maybe oil, like, doubles the damage output of fire? I'm not sure. Like, it seems when I smack an enemy first and then give them the oil so that they burn, they seem to burn, like, better. Maybe I should do a run in which we go, okay, you know what? It's all about the oil grenade on this one. Not on this one right here. Although it could be, if we wanted it to be. You know, there's a couple of reasons I won't take that. One is I don't expect to kill 10 enemies without getting hit. One is I'm pretty happy with our existing equipment. The other one is that I'm pretty sure if we take that, it's the end of the episode. So I'm not ready for this one to go yet. Pretty much all the enemies are going down in one salvo, which is nice kind of reassurance for me. Okay, so that's the end of the... Or that's the crypt, I should say, so we gotta go back and get the key. Another strength scroll here is fine. We're still pretty balanced, 656. Our strength... Wow. Should've just smacked him a couple times. Our strength doesn't strike me as that relevant. Because my game plan is still mostly skill dependent, but this might be hurting us in a big way on the Watcher fight. Yeah, those poor boys never stood a chance back there. So we still got 3 heals. It's relatively good. We should expect some shops down here. What are you gonna do? It's basically what I thought. Nothing at all. We don't even have to use our next heal either. We got lucky there. Gotta say, the infantry bow hasn't been like the best I've ever had. Maybe because I understand the value of other items a little bit more now. But against these guys, it's pretty good at taking out the trash. This looks like it's gonna be the key exit. But I think we should definitely continue exploring. Like, there's very little for me to concern myself with at the present moment. We got plenty of heals, we're doing lots of damage, and, you know, we're hoping that there's more upgrades out there in Graveyard Town. Oh, okay. Well, you win some, you lose some. That, I swear to you, on all that is holy, I double jumped. I think maybe, like, because we mantled getting out of the water, it somehow gates us off from doing the double jump, intentionally or otherwise, but... Wow, we really only had 2 teleporters, too. What a world. The color of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky. I see sewers are green, the sewers are yellow too. They're both analogs for level 2. Let's go. You don't want any part of this, Ricky. I assure you. It's not Ricky, wait, Dewey, that's it. Alright, so once we get down here, things can get a little dicey. Fire grenade 6. It's like literally the exact same, except better in every possible regard. But like in terms of like the flavor of it, it's just better. So, you know, for someone who's being a little risk averse like I am right now, this seems like a good choice. I know that it might seem like, you know, maybe I should take a secondary. Oiled sword. Dude. I think we gotta go for it. Enemies burn when they die. It does take 1 health away from us, but... to be able to smack an enemy a little faster... then light him on fire, seems like a decent choice. You gonna explode into things? Oh! Forgot about you. Enemies burn when they die? Wait a minute, does that do anything for us? Okay, I'm actually, like, losing my life and mind here. We gotta heal. How did you live so long? Remember, you got your respawn. Oh. Brain. Work with me here. Funny joke. Whoa, hello. I think we should go for the health upgrade. Guaranteed early heal, or heal right now is fine, but mostly it was about getting back to that 656 level we started at. Yo, this is not fair. That's too difficult of an obstacle. I'm out. I'm not fighting those guys in the middle of that, you know, hell swarm there. I think I've messed with my own formula here, and that's what we gotta work against. Just start going back to the spam techniques, dude. Like, don't sweat the small stuff. Is it all small stuff? No, like, almost none of it is small stuff now that we got 0 heals, but... Dude, I haven't seen this guy in like a million years. Long time no see. Like, I think I'm getting a little too attached to the idea of using the sword so often. I don't think the flammable sword was oh my land, necessarily the right choice. We're kind of screwing it up here. I'm like permanently down. Whoa! Give me my health back. Oh my lord. Okay. I mean, what can I say? You know, I did this to myself. Admittedly, like every bone in my body there was like run. And then my brain stepped in, which is pretty much its purpose, and said, do not run. If you run, you're just gonna, you know, kite aggro forever and you're gonna be screwed. So, we made the right choice there to keep going. And if we had run, we might have gotten killed. Instead, we are gonna make it to the boss. And we could explore everything, but we'll probably die in the process if we do so. I should never go for the shield, but it was so close to being done that I figured we'd go nuts. All right, this is the problem right here. It's the Watcher again. It's nice that we seem to be able to semi-consistently make it to this dude, but it's not so nice that we seem to be losing to him every time. But this is what we got to do. You know, we got to beat this guy. Making it to him 3 times in a row is worth something. Like, phase 1 seems to be going just fine. Narrator. It was not going just fine. So I guess my game plan here is I gotta try to generate... That was a bad throw. Try to generate... as much healing as possible after he hits us. Even if it seems risky, like, you gotta aggro him. That was fine. Okay, this time we gotta heal, because I got stunned by falling to the ground. Ah! So I've already messed up my game plan. Okay, we gotta heal, obviously. Like, we got 66 HP. Oh my god. Next hit we die if I don't heal. It seems like this is how it goes. Like, I always use, like... I always use, like, 3 heals on the second phase. Right, these guys do damage in a spread now. Is this where we finally start to respect shields? Like, can shields protect us from the Watcher's tentacle goodness? Or is this a full-on, like, roll strat? No! Didn't lose that much. Lost a lot right there. No! Well, we got a problem. One left. You gotta heal, like... Only dealing with one is very, very simple. Good dodge, dude. What's that? I can't get up there. Ah! Okay, that was a flint hook. You flint hooked me. At least we've seen a new attack, though. This guy, I do think skills is the right way to go, because it's, like, nearly impossible to hit him with your sword. I still, by the way, don't get your hopes up. I don't think we got much of a chance here, but... Ooh. We have, this is like by far the best we've ever done. Is he trapped? I actually thought we broke the game and we're gonna beat him on a technicality, and I was so excited. I don't like when these guys are so offset from one another. Okay, one died. We should definitely, like, land arrows on them, just because the toxic cloud actually does a surprising amount of damage. We gotta hit him. Like, that's... In order to get a little HP back, we had to hit him there. So these things should be hurt. Oh, probably next hit we're down. No, but still, I think you gotta look at that run as like a huge positive. We almost beat the Watcher. We played well. We built a strategy and it worked. For now, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. But for now, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.